I donated $12 million to help my alma mater rebuild their academic building. But on the day of the ribbon-cutting ceremony, the donor suddenly became the son of the school board president. Look, Xiaofang, I know you're the one who donated the money, but Tianyu really needs the credit to get into a prestigious university abroad. Just think of it as helping out a younger kid, okay? I scoffed in sheer disbelief. You want to steal my hard-earned money to build a future for your useless son? Fine. Today, I'm going to turn that stepping stone into his tombstone. It all started in November of last year. The head of the school's foundation reached out to me, saying the old academic building had major safety hazards and urgently needed to be rebuilt. As a successful alumna, I didn't hesitate to donate $12 million. With the support of these funds, the construction of the new academic building went smoothly, and as the main donor, I was invited to attend the ribbon-cutting ceremony. Our alma mater's thriving growth would not be possible without the generous support of our outstanding alumni. This brand new academic building is the fruit of our outstanding alumnus' love and dedication. But after the principal's passionate speech, a young man in a custom-tailored suit stepped right into the spotlight. I recognized him immediately. Tianyu Zhao, the good-for-nothing son of Principal Dehai Zhao. He only graduated from this school last year, and I heard he went to some diploma mill abroad to buy a worthless degree. But what was he doing standing up there? Sensing my confusion, a guy wearing glasses next to me whispered knowingly, "Hey, being born into the right family is a real skill, isn't it? See that guy? That's Principal Zhao's son. Word is, he donated over $10 million to build this academic building." Wait, what did you say? He donated it? Suddenly, a terrible feeling washed over me. As the ribbon-cutting ceremony officially began, the red cloth covering the donor plaque was carefully pulled down, revealing the glaring name engraved on it, Tianyu Zhao. Donation amount, $12 million. The guests in the audience applauded enthusiastically, while I stood there, clenching my fists so hard my knuckles turned white. How ironic. My selfless dedication back then has now become nothing more than a stepping stone for someone with connections who relies on sheer influence to get by. Shaking hands with the guests one by one, Zhao Dehai's face was absolutely beaming with pride. When he finally got to me, he gave my shoulder a heavy, patronizing pat and praised me in front of everyone, calling me a promising young talent. Seeing that I didn't respond, he leaned in and muttered in a voice only the two of us could hear, "Look, Xiaofang, I know you're the one who actually donated the money, but Tianyu really needs this prestige to get into a top-tier university overseas. Just think of it as helping out a younger junior, okay? But the name on the official donation agreement is mine, you know? Oh, come on, don't be like that. Young people shouldn't be so obsessed with fame and fortune. The spirit of selfless giving is what truly matters. Besides, if you make a big scene out of this, it won't just ruin the school's reputation, you won't stand to gain anything either." I glanced at that ridiculously ironic donation plaque, and then at Zhao Tianyu, who was putting on a pathetic show on stage. Right then, my mind was made up. I shook off the principal's greasy, sweaty hand and walked straight toward the stage that rightfully belonged to me. "Excuse me, everyone, please pause the ceremony for a moment." Realizing what I was about to do, the principal's face instantly went pale. 27. He stood below the stage, frantically winking and gesturing at me, but I completely ignored him. "Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Fang Ming, and I have a question I'd like to ask Principal Zhao here today. This academic building, which was fully funded and donated by me, why on earth does the donor plaque have someone else's name on it? Wait, is this for real? Did someone actually steal the credit for a donation?" Seeing that the situation was spiraling out of control, the principal lunged forward like a madman, trying to drag me away. But I didn't just easily dodge his desperate attempt. I also managed to cast all the documents from my phone straight onto the giant projector screen. Flashing on the screen were my official bank transfer receipts to the school, proving a total transaction of $12 million. Every single transfer came directly from my company's account, sent straight to the official school foundation. With the evidence laid bare in black and white, the crowd immediately erupted into chaos. The education board officials looked absolutely livid. Meanwhile, the drama-hungry reporters scrambled to set up their cameras and snap pictures, terrified of missing a single second of this massive scandal. Seeing this, Zhao Tianyu completely lost his cool. "These records, they must be fake. It's a setup. My dad told me that this was a joint donation from Fang Ming and me. I was just presenting it on our behalf. FLBJ, every single cent of that donation came directly out of my pocket. What kind of joint donation is that? Am I right, Principal Zhao?" In an instant, every eye in the room locked onto Zhao Dehai. He was white as a sheet, the fat on his face trembling violently with fear. This must be a data entry error by our staff. We will absolutely punish whoever is responsible for this. This was no mistake, it was outright theft. I exposed his pathetic lie without mercy and made a solemn announcement right then and there to the entire crowd. given the school's serious issues. With managing these donated funds, I am officially withdrawing my entire donation. If the full amount isn't returned to my account within 1 week, I'll see you in court. Fang Ming, how dare you ruin my plans? Just you wait, we're not done yet. By the time I got back to my hotel, the hashtag about the stolen school donation had already shot to the top of the trending charts. The post already had tens of thousands of comments, but this was only the beginning. Soon, some online sleuths uploaded the video of the entire confrontation and even dug up Zhao Tianyu's personal social media accounts. Clicking on his profile, it was packed with nothing but videos of him flexing his wealth. This instantly set the internet ablaze. Didn't that Zhao Tianyu guy just graduate last year? Where on earth did he get all that money? Oh, you naive soul upstairs. Must be nice having a powerful dad. Do you guys think that money's dirty too? Makes sense. The authorities need to look into this as soon as possible. Just then, I got a call from an unknown number. The caller introduced himself as Li Guohua, the vice principal of First High School. He wanted to meet up in person to clear up the misunderstanding, but I shut him down immediately. Who knew if this was just a trap he was setting for me? Realizing playing nice wouldn't work, he dropped the act entirely and showed his true colors. Look, kid, don't let your emotions get the better of you. Principal Zhao has been in the school system for decades. The connections he's built up, they're far beyond anything you can handle. Vice Principal Li, are you threatening me? No, I'm just reminding you that everything is negotiable. For instance, if you just cooperate with the school and put out a joint statement about the donation, we can award you an honorary professorship. That would do wonders for your company's reputation down the road. 3 years. And you guys haven't changed a bit. Mr. Fang, what is that supposed to mean? 3 years ago, a junior's father fell critically ill, and they couldn't afford the surgery. She posted on the school forum begging for help, but you guys took it down, claiming it hurt the school's reputation. Even though the other students quietly pooled together 10,000 yuan, it was nowhere near enough. In the end, she had no choice but to drop out of school to work. The only reason I donated to the emergency fund was to make sure a tragedy like that would never happen again. But looking at it now, I wasn't just wrong, I was dead wrong. Mr. Fang, that's all in the past. Give back the money within 1 week. Otherwise, I'm uploading every single piece of evidence to the internet. Before he could try to make another excuse, I hung up on him. That's when I finally noticed. My inbox was blowing up with messages from my old classmates. Some were cheering me on, while others worried I might be getting myself into serious trouble. One of them even sent over a photo. It was a screenshot of his social media page showing him posing next to a Mercedes G-Wagon for a selfie. The caption read, "There are always petty haters jealous of other people's success, spreading rumors just to stir up trouble." It's hilarious that he's still flexing like this when he's already in deep trouble. Without hesitation, I immediately saved the screenshot. Just then, another call came in. The moment I answered, Zhao Tianyu's furious voice roared through the receiver. "Fang Ming, I'm warning you, cooperate with my dad like a good boy and release a joint statement about the donation. Otherwise, I'll make sure your company goes under tomorrow." "Are you done?" I replied calmly. "What the hell is with your attitude? Your dad's monthly salary is 20,000 yuan. You just graduated, where did you get over 1 million yuan to buy a G-Wagon? Fang Ming, I'm already on my way to get you. I'm going to make sure you never leave this city." "Fine. I'll be waiting for you in room 1806 of the Marriott Hotel. Remember to bring plenty of backup, otherwise, you won't even stand a chance." About 10 minutes later, a loud knock echoed at the door. I looked through the peephole to check out the situation. There were 3 of them in total, Zhao Tianyu and 2 hulking bodyguards. Opening the door, I smirked. "Well, you got here fast. Fang Ming, don't do this the hard way," Zhao Tianyu sneered. "Issue an apology to the media right now. Tell them it was all a misunderstanding, and admit that you made a mistake." I completely ignored him and looked at the 2 bodyguards. "Hey brothers, how much is he paying you?" The sudden question caught the big guys completely off guard, but one of them honestly blurted out, 5,000 yuan. "Wow, only 5,000? I scoffed. "Throw this punk out of here, and I'll give you 10,000 each." The 2 bodyguards hesitated, looking at me, and then back at Zhao Tianyu. The choice was pretty obvious. "How dare you?" Zhao Tianyu barked. "Sorry, Master Zhao," one of them sighed, "but he's just offering way too much." You bastards. "EU, my dad is Zhao Dihai. I'll make you pay dearly for this. Just you wait." No matter how much he screamed and yelled, those 2 thugs still ruthlessly threw him into the elevator. With that annoying pest finally gone, I slumped onto the sofa and let out a long sigh of relief, thinking to myself, finally, some peace and quiet. A moment later, my phone buzzed with a bank transfer notification, 12 million yuan, paid in full. At the same time, a slip of paper was slid under my front door. On it, 4 words were printed in bold. Quit while you're ahead. I scoffed, crumpling it into a ball and tossing it into the trash. Quit while I'm ahead? The real show is just getting started. Is this Mr. Fang Ming? I'm calling from the Municipal Discipline Committee regarding the investigation into Zhao Dahai. We'd like you to come down to our office tomorrow morning. First thing the next morning, I arrived on time at the Discipline Committee's headquarters as agreed. The person who came out to greet me was the same man who had called me the day before. Mr. Fang Ming, I presume? My name is Li Zhenguo. Pleasure to meet you. After exchanging brief pleasantries, he led me into a conference room to get down to business. He started by asking me for details about what happened on the day of the ceremony, and I walked him through the entire sequence of events from start to finish. To prove that every word I said was the absolute truth, I played an audio recording as supporting evidence. TNU needs this prestige to apply for top universities abroad. Just think of it as helping a junior pave his path to the future. This is a critical piece of evidence. I'll need to keep a copy of this. Now, regarding the inside scoop on Zhao Tianyu's guaranteed admission, how much do you actually know? I'm sorry, I don't know much about that side of things. I see. We heard that the 12 million yuan has already been returned, and it was paid back 6 days ahead of the deadline. Why do you think they were in such a hurry? They just have a guilty conscience, that's all. If it really was just a simple data entry mistake, they could have easily taken their time to verify everything. But yesterday, Vice Principal Li Guohua called me. He warned me not to blow things out of proportion. And right after that, Zhao Tianyu even brought some thugs to my hotel to stir up trouble. Li Zhenguo's eyes narrowed instantly. The pen in his hand paused for a second. Breaking into your room with a gang. That constitutes a threat of violence, doesn't it? Exactly. He brought those guys to force me into posting a fake clarification. But I used a little bit of, let's call it superpowers. And those 2 thugs were surprisingly professional. They took their own boss and threw him right out the door. Hearing this, Li Zhenguo, who had been completely serious up until now, couldn't help but twitch his mouth a couple of times. After writing down all the details, he asked a question loaded with meaning. Besides this 12 million, do you happen to know about any other dirt on Zhao Dahai? Like school finances, infrastructure procurement, or maybe personnel changes? He paused after every single phrase, closely watching my reaction, but when I just shook my head to all of them, Li Zhenguo looked visibly disappointed. Honestly, we've received reports from others too, he admitted, but because there wasn't enough evidence, we couldn't take any real action. But that brainless son of his might just be our breakthrough. Cao Tianyu is always flexing his wealth on social media. All those sports cars and luxury mansions clearly cost way more than Zhao Dahai's legal salary. Looking at those flashy, extravagant photos, Li Zhenguo's expression grew more serious by the second. Thank you for sharing this with us. We'll send someone to look into this immediately. Just before I left, he solemnly handed me his personal business card so I could reach out to him directly if anything came up. Once I stepped out of the anti-corruption agency building, I looked at my phone and saw over a dozen missed calls. And most of them were from Li Guohua and the school administration. That brings the total to exactly. Just then, Li Guohua called me again. Mr. Fang, word on the street is you went to the Discipline Inspection Commission. I couldn't believe they caught wind of it this quickly. No, wait, I must have missed some detail. Suddenly, a thought struck me. I warily scanned my surroundings. Sure enough, a black sedan was tailing me from a short distance away. Seeing that I wasn't responding, Li Guohua cut straight to the chase. I've got some serious dirt on Zhao Dahai. My only condition is that you keep me out of this. Where are you? At Qingfeng Pavilion, the tea house right next to the school. I didn't expect someone to flip sides so quickly. But first things first, I need to shake off this tail. I quickly spotted my car parked by the curb, planning to find the right moment to lose whoever was tailing me. I slammed my foot on the gas, and the black sedan immediately stayed glued to my bumper. They're not even trying to hide it anymore, are they? Seeing the traffic light ahead about to turn red, I yanked the steering wheel and pulled off a last-second lane change. With them trapped behind the wall of traffic, I ducked straight into the mall's underground parking garage, and by using its double exits, I successfully shook them off. Meanwhile, inside a private room at Qingfeng Pavilion, as the meeting time drew near, Li Guohua grew increasingly anxious. It wasn't until he saw me walk through the door that he finally breathed a sigh of relief. Still, he didn't let his guard down. Hold on. There's something we need to double-check first. After making absolutely sure no one had followed me, his hands trembled as he pulled a flash drive out of his briefcase. Mr. Fang, everything is in here, all the evidence of Zhao Dahai's corruption. Out of the 800,000 in annual subsidies, less than 100,000 actually makes it to the students. And then there's the construction project for the new classroom building. The winning bidder just happens to be his brother-in-law. The quote is a full 40% higher than the market rate. If you had the proof all along, then why did you wait until now to say something? The moment he found out you went to the Commission for Discipline Inspection, Zhao Dahai immediately called an emergency meeting. He's planning to make me the scapegoat for the whole thing. So, you didn't come to me because you realized you were wrong, but because you know you're completely finished. I know I messed up. Please, show some mercy. Look, for the sake of this evidence, please, just save me this one time. The only one who can save you isn't me, it's yourself. I expect you to fully cooperate from here on out. I will. I promise I'll do whatever it takes. Oh, and one more thing about Zhao Dahai. Jung An is currently auditing your company's taxes. Plus, he has some powerful people backing him up. It looks like they are really playing hardball now. To avoid being followed again, I didn't take my own car when I left. Instead, I caught a cab and headed straight to the Commission for Discipline Inspection. On the way, I sent a quick message to Li Zhengguo, letting him know I had some suspected evidence regarding the school's financial issues. By the time my taxi pulled up, Li Zhengguo was already waiting for me at the entrance. He took the USB drive from me and warned me with a tense, solemn look on his face. Mr. Fang, you have to be extremely careful. Some of these people are getting desperate, and there is no telling what they'll do. Even though I had already braced myself for the worst, I never expected his warning would come true so fast. The moment I stepped back into my hotel room, I immediately sensed that something was off. Someone had touched my laptop. I whipped the curtains open, and sure enough, that black sedan was parked just down the street. Just then, my phone buzzed. It was a text from an unknown number. So, you handed over the files. Get ready to pay the price. Faced with such a blatant threat, I immediately sent the license plate number and the text message details to Li Zhengguo. They know I handed over the USB drive, I told him, and they're watching me from downstairs right now. Before long, Li Zhengguo called me right back. That plate is cloned, he said, and the number is a burner. It's completely untraceable. Get out of that hotel right now and head somewhere crowded. I'm sending backup to you right away, Wenyan. Without a moment's hesitation, I quickly stuffed some important documents into my backpack and bolted straight for the hotel's fire escape. But before I could take more than a few steps down, a rush of hurried footsteps echoed from below. Someone was charging up. I quickly backed out and retreated to the 18th floor elevator lobby, only to see the elevator rising fast. 15th floor, 16th floor. I was completely surrounded. In that split second, I noticed a cleaning lady nearby handling some bedsheets. As the elevator doors slid open, two massive, imposing thugs charged out aggressively. Right after them, the other two thugs from the stairwell rushed out, panting heavily as they arrived. The four of them clearly had a target, heading straight for a specific room without a second thought. But as they passed by the cleaning lady, one of them suddenly stopped in his tracks. Hold on, what do you have in there? Just dirty bedsheets. Strange. He's not here. Maybe I'm just paranoid. Meanwhile, inside the employee's freight elevator, I clutched my chest, feeling my heart beating like crazy. Thank God those guys missed a spot, or I would have been totally done for. But they reacted even faster than I expected. I had barely taken a few steps outside the hotel when those thugs chased after me like rabid dogs. Remembering Li Zhengguo's warning, I spun around and bolted toward the nearest mall. Luckily, with the massive weekend crowd, I quickly managed to blend in and disappear. But I couldn't let my guard down just yet. I immediately slipped into a fitting room in a clothing store. From there, I quickly let Zhengguo know about my situation. After a tense moment of waiting, he finally replied, "Second floor atrium. Gray jacket. That's my colleague, Officer Wang." I cautiously poked my head out of the fitting room. Once I was sure those guys weren't around, I carefully made my way up to the second floor atrium. Follow me. 20 minutes later, Officer Wang led me to a rundown apartment building. The moment we stepped inside, Zhengguo, who had been waiting there for a while, dropped a total bombshell. 2 hours ago, Li Gonghua got into a car accident. What? Is he okay? Where is he? Just minor injuries. But he's absolutely terrified, Zhengguo said, slamming several photos of the accident scene onto the table. The dump truck flipped, but there were only 2 meters of skid marks. This was no accident. They were trying to silence him, all because of that USB drive. Yeah, our forensics team already verified the files on it. Overpriced construction contracts and over 3 million yuan of financial aid for needy students was embezzled. Every single cent of that dirty money ended up in his son's offshore account. If the evidence is so rock solid, why hasn't he been arrested yet? Because that old fox checked himself into the hospital, claiming he's sick. He's just trying to buy himself some time. Oh, and there's one more thing. Li Gonghua specifically asked to see you. He says it has to do with that school 3 years ago, and a student who dropped out. Could it be him? Late that night inside the ward, seeing us arrive, Li Guohua's face twisted with bitterness. I thought the worst that could happen was losing my job. I never imagined they'd actually try to take my life. So, there's no point in keeping their dirty secrets anymore. It's about a student named Chen Xiaoyu from 3 years ago. Back then, he applied to the foundation for 20,000 yuan in financial aid, but in the end, Zhao Dehai rejected his application, claiming he didn't qualify. But the truth is, the money was actually embezzled by him and transferred to his nephew, Zhao Deqiang, to fund his renovation company. And what happened to Chen Xiaoyu's father? Because he couldn't afford dialysis, he ended up dying at home in absolute agony. This isn't just corruption anymore. They are feeding on human lives. I stared out at the pitch-black night, my eyes turning cold. Officer Wang, let's go. To that renovation company. Now? In the middle of the night? Exactly, because it's night. That's the only way we'll see the things that can't stand the light of day. 11 p.m. Number 38, Jianshe Road. Dexing Renovation. This was Zhao Dehai's shady hideout. Officer Wang wanted to go up with me, but I stopped him. After all, if I go in alone, only then will those bastards show their fangs. Just to be safe, I pulled up the dialer on my phone, so I could quickly call Officer Wang for backup. With everything set, I rang the doorbell. Who the hell are you? Tell your boss that Fong Ming is here to see him. Fine. Come on in. A moment later, a bald guy led me into the second-floor office. There was a mahogany desk and a leather sofa. The office itself isn't very big, but the decor is seriously luxurious. Looks like he's pocketed a massive amount of dirty money over the years. Right now, Zhao Dehai's brother, Zhao Deqiang, is sitting back in his executive chair. He looks completely puzzled, probably trying to figure out what I'm here for. I don't waste any words, and cut straight to the chase, demanding, I'm here to collect a debt for Chen Xiaoyu. That 20,000 yuan for his father's medical emergency. Did you pocket that money? Zhao Deqiang freezes for a second, but then, it's like he suddenly remembers something. He lets out a cold sneer. Listen here, kid, you can eat whatever you want, but you can't just throw wild accusations around. That was a perfectly legal internal school transfer of funds, diverting a poor student's life-saving money to a renovation company. And you call that legal? Completely unfazed, Zhao Deqiang reaches into his drawer and pulls out a receipt. Hey, Chen Xiaoyu. Amount? 20,000 yuan. Date? September 12th, 3 years ago. Seeing this, I can't help but burst out laughing. Come on, Mr. Zhao. If you're going to forge something, at least put some effort into it. Don't you think this paper looks a bit too fresh? After 3 years, there's not even a single sign of aging on it. Besides, if I remember correctly, back in September 3 years ago, your company had only been registered for 3 months, right? With a registered capital of 500,000 yuan, a single, zero-return donation like this would have wiped out 4% of your entire capital. Do you really think the tax bureau is that stupid? He scoffs. You know, kid, people who know too much usually don't live very long. Believe me, I can make sure you don't walk out of this door tonight. Facing this blatant threat, I don't even blink. Every single security camera on this street is fed directly to the local police station. If I don't make it out of here, do you think Officer Wang downstairs is going to send his men up? Zhao Deqiang instantly pulls up the security feed by the front door. Sure enough, Officer Wang's car popped up on the screen. Spit it out. What exactly do you want? I want everything from the last 3 years. Every cent of the school funds Zhao Dehai funneled to you. The transaction history? No way. If I hand those records over, both he and I are dead meat. Li Guohua has already sold your brother out completely. If you hand them over now, you can still cut a deal. But if you wait until Zhao Dehai gets busted, you're going down as an accomplice. I wasn't the only one who took that money. A lot of powerful people are mixed up in this. If I give them to you, they'll wipe out my whole family. You seriously think they'll protect you? When things hit the fan, you're nothing but their scapegoat. In the end, Zhao Deqiang gritted his teeth and pulled a black notebook out of the safe. This is just a copy. If you want the original, get me $500,000 and get me out of the country. Do you honestly think that's going to happen? That's not my problem. Without solid proof against my brother, the worst they can do is demote him. Once he gets back on his feet, who do you think he's coming after first? I glanced down at my phone and realized 15 minutes had already passed, so I decided to play along with him. I agreed to his terms for now. Once I got back to the apartment, I filled Li Jianguo in on everything. He thought about it for a moment, then said, go ahead with the exchange tomorrow. We'll have people backing you up. The second you get the original, we move in. What if he realizes it's a trap? Then he doesn't get the money, and he won't be able to run either. After that, we went over tomorrow's plan, discussing every single detail. By the time I got back to the place Li Jianguo set up for me, it was already 2 in the morning. I had just crawled into bed when my phone suddenly rang. It was another unknown number. The moment I picked up, Zhao Dehai's dark, menacing voice came through the line. Fang Ming, I'll give you 20 million. Take the cash and get the hell out of this city. Zhao Dehai, do you really think 20 million can buy back a human life? Silence hung on the other end for a long time. Finally, he let out a cold, contemptuous scoff. That was an accident. He only has his own bad luck to blame. At that exact moment, I became even more determined to put Zhao Dehai behind bars. The next night at 11 o'clock, I grabbed my backpack stuffed with 500,000 US dollars and walked into Dexon Decoration all by myself. All right, get in here. Inside the second floor office, along with Zhao Dequang and his bald bodyguard, there was another man wearing glasses. This is Lawyer Zhang. He's here to witness the transaction. Here are all the original ledgers you wanted, including that transaction involving Chen Xiaoyu. Did you bring the cash? I unzipped my backpack, revealing the thick stacks of dollars inside. At the sight of it, Zhao Dequang's eyes flared with pure, naked greed. Just as he reached out to grab it, I violently zipped it back shut. What's that supposed to mean? You need to prove these original ledgers are the real deal first. Lawyer Zhang here can vouch for them. He's a professional. How do I know you didn't just hire some actor to play the part? I need to check his credentials. Lawyer Zhang hesitated for a second, then pulled his lawyer credentials out of his pocket. The photo matched his face perfectly. Affiliated with Zhangping Law Firm. Seeing this, I let out a cold smirk. Liu Zhengping. If I remember correctly, he's Zhao Dehai's college classmate. What do you mean? What I mean is, this whole deal was a setup from the very beginning. Zhao Dehai, had you faked this transaction with me, and once I got my hands on these forged originals, you guys were going to call the cops and frame me for extortion. Then, you'd have Lawyer Zhang testify against me, claiming I forced you into this deal. In the end, I go to prison, while you guys walk away squeaky clean. Am I right? Or am I right? You're talking absolute nonsense. Whether I'm lying or not, you know the answer to that deep down. Seeing his lie ruthlessly exposed, Zhao Deqiang immediately flew into a humiliated rage. Baldi? Do it. Standing nearby, the bald bodyguard immediately pulled out a switchblade. But the cold, sharp blade was pointed right at Zhao Deqiang. You bought him off? Actually, your brother bought him off. After all, as long as you're breathing, you'll always be a walking threat to him. Only the dead keep secrets. With that, he gave the bald man a look and turned to walk away. It was clear. From start to finish, Zhao Deqiang was the only one kept completely in the dark. He collapsed helplessly onto the sofa, muttering no, that's impossible over and over again. Desperate to prove it was all a lie, he dialed Zhao Dehai's number with trembling hands. Did you get the money? I got it, haha. Perfect. Your big brother has already arranged a place for you to lay low. Just follow your bodyguard when the time comes. Since you decided to stab me in the back, don't blame me for what comes next. I'm going to turn myself in, and I'm exposing Zhao Dehai. Building 3, Unit 2, Apartment 40, one in the old machinery factory housing area in South City. The real ledgers and the bribery list are both with my wife. I can help you, but first, I need to make sure those ledgers are the real deal. Having secured the key location, I immediately reported the situation to Li Zhengguo, asking him to send over agents to secure Zhao Deqiang as a star witness. Once everything was finally set in motion, I finally turned to look at the bald guy, who was still frozen in hesitation. Give it up, brother. We've got the downstairs completely surrounded, and even if you somehow manage to slip away, knowing how ruthless Zhao Dehai is, do you honestly think he'll let you off the hook? The bald guy gripped his knife tighter, cold sweat dripping down his forehead. He wasn't stupid. He had seen firsthand just how merciless Zhao Dehai could be. Slowly, he let go of the pocket knife in his hand, and wisely backed away into the corner. 5 minutes later, the two of them were escorted into a police car by Li Zhengguo's men. Meanwhile, there was a major breakthrough over at the South City Machinery Factory. Zhao Deqiang's wife cooperated fully and handed over all the documents. Among them was that top-secret blacklist containing a total of 17 names. Staring at this overwhelming, ironclad evidence, Li Zhengguo's eyes filled with determination. He swore he would bring every single one of these corrupt parasites to justice. But a sudden, frantic call from Officer Wang instantly poured cold water on everyone's high spirits. This is bad. Zhao Dehai, he just vanished. At 1 o'clock in the morning, the piercing wail of sirens shattered the quiet night, setting the entire city on edge. Listen up, everyone. Expand the search perimeter. We are in full pursuit of Zhao Dehai. Do not, under any circumstances, let him escape. Li Zhengguo mobilized forces from 3 different precincts, locking down every single exit out of the city, determined to hunt Zhao Dehai down and bring him to justice. Yet, even after 2 hours, there was still no sign of Zhao Dehai. They couldn't find a single trace of where he might have gone. It was as if he had vanished into thin air. Just when everyone was completely out of options, Zhao Deqiang came forward with a crucial new lead. He used my wife's name to buy a secluded villa on the west side of town. That's probably where he's hiding out right now. Without wasting a second, our team sped off and arrived outside the villa. Knowing the suspect could be armed and dangerous, we didn't just rush in blindly. Instead, we surrounded the villa first. Then, we pointed a megaphone towards the villa and called out, "Zhao Dehai, you're surrounded. Come out now, and we can still discuss a lighter sentence." But there was only silence from inside. Officer Li Zhengguo's brow furrowed. He immediately ordered us to force our way in. The moment we breached the door, except for a half-eaten bowl of instant noodles on the coffee table, the place was completely empty. Damn it, we're too late. He must have left in a real hurry. Upstairs, inside a safe on the second floor, we found 3 fake passports and a stack of overseas asset documents. It looked like that old fox had been planning his escape for a long time. But what shocked me was that my own father was somehow tied to those documents. Right then, my phone buzzed. It was a text from an unknown number. The message was short. "I'm at the school, main building. Do you dare to show up? Don't go." This is obviously a trap to lure us away. But I had to go. Every day he remained free was another day he could destroy evidence and hurt even more people. At 4:30 in the morning, the main building of the first high school loomed in the darkness like a massive monster, practically dripping with danger. Officer Wang and I took a deep breath and stepped into the pitch black. As we reached the 3rd floor, a dark figure slowly emerged at the far end of the hallway. It was Zhao Dehai. His face was deathly pale, and he was clutching something tightly in his hand. "Freeze! Take one more step and I'll shoot." Fang Ming. "Tell your partner to back off. Otherwise, you'll never learn the final secret. The one about your father." "My father?" "That's right. Your dad suddenly quit his job at the school back then. You didn't really think it was because of his poor health, did you?" Hearing this, my heart suddenly sank. I turned to Officer Wang and said, "No way. He'll definitely attack you. Just wait for me by the stairs. If anything happens, I'll call you." He hesitated for a moment, but finally, reluctantly, he took a step back. But he kept his gun aimed straight at Zhao Dehai the entire time. "Your father was the school's accountant back then. He found evidence of the former principal's corruption, but he was too afraid to report it. In the end, he chose to take $50,000 in hush money and left this city. Fang Ming, this circle has never been clean. Even if you bring me down, there will still be thousands of Zhao Dehais. Why even bother? Cut the act." If I hadn't just found it in the safe's hidden compartment back at the villa, found that whistleblower letter from back then that was never sent, I might have actually believed your lies. He never took a single dime from that principal back then. The only reason he resigned was because you people forced him out. Since you won't let me off the hook, then we're going down together." At that critical moment, Officer Wang decisively pulled the trigger. "No tears tonight. Why waste away for you? Forgetting has already become." Fortunately, the bullet only hit his shoulder. He's out of immediate danger for now. Watching the SWAT officers storm in, Zhao Dehai, lying in a pool of blood, let out a chilling, miserable laugh. "Ha ha ha. Wang Ming, don't celebrate too early. There are never any winners in this game. Injustice is the only true winner. Get him to the hospital, quickly. Don't let him die. Keep him alive to face trial." On the 3rd day after Zhao Dehai was arrested, desperate to get her husband's prison sentence reduced, Zhao Dechang's wife handed over brand new evidence to the police, a small metal tin, and a USB flash drive. Inside the metal tin were the records of every single payment he had secretly sent to Chen Xiaoyu over the last 3 years. Back then, he knew that those 20,000 yuan were meant to save a life, but he was too terrified to stand up to Zhao Dechao. So, all he could do was secretly send her money, month after month, which eventually added up to over 30,000 yuan. As for the USB drive, it was packed with incriminating audio recordings and financial ledgers. The moment he received these files, Li Zhengguo rushed straight to the tech team and played one of the audio recordings. Take a look at the price for this procurement. The market rate is 8 million, but we're going to quote 12 million. With that extra 4 million, we'll stick to our usual split, 60% for you, 30% for me, and the remaining 10% will go toward greasing the wheels for the others. That voice on the recording was one Li Zhengguo knew all too well. Now that they had this ironclad proof, they could finally bring these corrupt bastards to justice. A month later, thanks to my efforts, the city's first middle school established a brand new financial aid fund. Little Chen Xiaoyu, the girl who had been forced to drop out, was now back in school, proudly wearing her new uniform. As she walked past the donor plaque, she paused and bowed deeply in gratitude. The despair and tears were gone from her face, replaced by the bright, youthful energy she had lost for so long. Meanwhile, on the giant screens in the airport terminal, the midday news report was broadcasting a story on the massive case that had shocked the entire city. We bring you a breaking update. In the highly publicized, massive education corruption case involving the first middle school, the city's Intermediate People's Court today delivered its public verdict in the first trial. The main culprit, Zhao Dehai, along with his network of protectors, totaling 17 people, have all been brought to justice. The primary offenders have been sentenced to 15 years in prison, with all of their personal assets confiscated.